Oh no, that's copyrighted. Oh, welcome to the 80th stream. You know the
Woo,
thing we do.
Woo.
Woo. So audio should exist. They should sound like butts, but what's new?
Who is butts?
You're
I am, but
yeah.
My butts.
We're all butts.
Why are we
Butts.
butts?
Because
butts and butts.
I have had to crank your audio over 1,000 times its gain to try and
What?
get any output from you.
That's crazy. Everyone sounds fine to me.
It's more OBS than Discord.
That is weird.
OBS is doing whatever OBS decides to do, and it's apparently not
Yeah,
like
that's really strange because I never have problems with OBS's audio. So I wonder what's going on with your setup.
Who knows? But we got art to shows.
Yay! This is about the drawing and not the audio. Even though we need to talk.
We
It's
don't
about
need
the arts.
audio. They can all just turn up their volume and hopefully never hit an advertisement during the stream.
Yeah.
That's right.
Some loud music, one that jumps straight in.
MLPDS is not responsible for any ear-related accidents.
Maze temporal. Hold it. Do you want that critiqued? Also, that Anon pony. Chuck your art our way and we'll critique it. If you want critique.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
If you're just giving us something because you want us to have no lives forever and just never stop streaming, you don't need to send us it. But if you do honestly want to critique, we're happy to help.
I already have no life.
Shh, don't tell them our secret.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we aren't too busy. If we were too busy, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
And if we weren't here, you wouldn't be here. And then, oh my gosh!
Are we just-
more busy?
Existential crisis of do we exist?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We do give a request though. If we're gonna critique your art, we'd like to see you at least try to draw something in the Aggie.
Yes.
I know everyone else who isn't here, they're like, "Oh, but I could just not be here and not have to go with that statement." Too bad, everyone here.
I know you
Sorry,
were like
everybody
joking
disappears.
about you were joking about this rule before. Is it now serious?
It's now very serious.
I'm like,
All right, so we start with the people who are here based on order we get the art. So first up is this adorable thing in the bottom corner. It's just a sweater with a pony face stuck on it.
Oh, cute. Going down. Adorable.
It's by the Binky.
Adorable.
So Binky, we have questions for you. Do you have any questions for us? That's our question
Yes,
for
I
you.
believe they said they had questions.
Good. Let's hear said questions. If you want, you can hop into the Discord and talk to us if you want real-time responses, but you won't see the video in real time. It's weird, but trust us, it works like 10% better.
either they hear all the whole of us out of sync or just our video essentially.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alternatively, you can come over to my house and you can just watch my screen. That's an option too. You bring popcorn and beer and we'll be great.
Art party at Living Dead's place. Sounds great.
I dig it.
I mean, art party is totally happening 3 weeks from now. Is it 3 weeks from now?
It's so close.
Yeah, BronyCon. By the way, half of us are at BronyCon. If you want to meet us, we should just set up a time we're going to hang out at a location.
I wish I could.
Well, isn't there an official, unofficial My Little Pony Drawing School panel? They're like using the name, but not like it's just viewing some people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Neither do I. Things I pick up from scanning chat.
Oh,
I could be wrong. It could be some whole different thing on just like how to draw ponies. I don't know.
we're
We'll
gonna
find out when the schedule comes out.
we'll find more about that. But if you want to hang out and draw ponies with us, we're probably going to spend at least a few hours sitting on a bench enjoying drawing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty awesome last year. We enjoyed the sun on the balcony, and what, that was like 8 hours of drawing. We ordered pizza in. We were drawing so long.
Mm-hmm. Good time.
All right, so they had some trouble with how the fabric would work on loose sweater. It's weird, fraying, like trying to get it to look right. Even now, it looks weird. Um, I think one of the issues is how busy you've made it with the texture. Like you're trying to show all this form and curves, but all your texture is curving with it. So now you have curvy texture, and you're trying to show form within the movement of the texture, and that's just going to be very hard to show. Because I can see where they've tried to duck it in and stuff, and dark blue does not work on blue. So I've seen where they tried to duck it in, like this area here. Tried to bring it on in to give it a curve and stuff, and then they've brought it out as a bubble because you can see this form over here, and it brings in with.
So is this more to get the texture, like all these lines inside of the texture more than form of the sweater?
I think Binky just had a brain blast. Wait, isn't that copyrighted?
Something's going on. Are we being abducted?
Is Binky leveling up?
Is this like the evolution? Do we press B? I like original Binky. I don't want it to evolve to its uglier.
Griff just where he is.
Yeah, but if he levels up, he could be an alicorn. Just saying.
Oh my god.
What's going on? I don't understand.
Like something I would suggest. Oh, okay, he's back. Okay. So something I suggest, at least to differentiate between these inner lines, because I understand you're trying to make this like woolly, messy sweater look. Two things I would suggest: slightly different color for your inner lines and thinner lines for your inner lines. Your outlines are already very thick, and when you have these thick lines going inside as well, it kind of makes them feel like they're the same purpose of line. So it just gets confusing and muddled. But if it's like more of a textury pattern, I would have your outlines differentiate from the inner lines. That would be my 2 cents to try to play with that.
That's very good. Using different line weights can be a little tricky, but it's definitely worth the payoff.
Alternatively, you could just try, if all that texturing inside of it is on a different layer, turn down the opacity on that texture so it differentiates itself just by being lighter than the rest of those outlines.
Ooh, yes, I do like that.
Because when you go look at a sweater from a distance that does have texture on it, it doesn't actually look very textured. It's very dull. And then when you get closer, you go, oh, I see you have little diamonds all over you.
Using a lighter color for the line might blend it in more and make it look nice. Also, I just finally got
I think they exploded.
very cute phone.
Nothing to apologize for. There's no reason to apologize at all. I mean, you're trying different things. We're just giving our 2 cents, our salt covered 2 cents. Take it with a grain of salt.
Not that we're salty.
Do you have any further questions about this one? Because it's freaking adorable, and I love the design of this character. Like the sweater completely overtaking them is like 2 tones of adorableness. It's like grandma just gave them the sweater and they're gonna grow into it kind of thing.
I was just like, I wonder if there's like a better way to draw a sweater, but like it's really tricky because ponies have such big adorable heads. But like it looks like it's just like got such a wide head hole.
It's like the joke I feel like you always see in animation with like How do they even fit their clothes over their heads?
Oh my god, like when it's like sort of Disney style, like with the big heads and stuff.
And just
And
like pop
tiny
it
necks.
over.
Yeah.
Button up
Poof.
shirts. So any further questions, Binky? Also like that the glasses are not
I love
straight.
the angry dino next to Drawing.
Oh, sure. What do you need to say?
Okay, so she's anthro. The chibi anthro. I think we've seen from Binky before.
Semi-bipedal. Or bipedal.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I just drew that little pony there in a pony anatomy next to it. I was just
It's
trying to figure
adorable.
out how I will do it myself.
Adorable.
If they are standing up underneath that, that's even more adorable. And it's just really big, a really huge sweater. But yeah, it is quite. That is kind of lost since it's all completely covered up by the sweater. It's very hard to see that. It just looks like sort of an ordinary pony.
I think if you have a consistent style with this, or like your consistent anatomy with the bipedal pones,
Like
I don't
people
think
come to
there's
it.
much you want to show. Like the fact that she's all slumped together, like this kind of lump of sweater on a pone. I don't know if I'd want to have, any distinguishing lines to prove that she's bipedal under there. It's kind of like if that's what, your work is.
The only thing is if the sweater wasn't completely on the ground and you had like just a little bit of their feet underneath.
That's what they have right here.
Oh, so it blended very much in. Yeah, there we go. I was like, my window is slightly not tall enough. I missed that. But yeah, okay, I can see that now. See, I can't really think of anything else that would help to show it better. 90% sweater. I think that's exactly what you need to be when it's winter. Which is the opposite of right now. It's so hot.
All right, let's move
Oh,
on to the
better
next.
hot than cold.
No, I prefer cold. I can always get
Mhm.
warmer.
Me too.
Listen, I'd rather set things on fire than have to hide
I have
from
a
the heat.
ridiculous amount of body heat. I might as well be fire.
Also pajamas.
Mm,
Warm,
yes.
fluffy pajamas.
Jeez.
All right, next picture is May's temporals, and they have submitted the crazy Twilight with the infinity symbol hanging above her head,
Ooh.
and Dad and I'm Pony just messaging them.
Very crazy face. If they weren't trying to make a crazy face, and I hope we don't offend them, but it definitely looks it to me.
I'm pretty sure
Like,
that was the goal.
it looks intentional. I mean,
Most important problems? Well, I think the first question I have is, what are you using to draw? And
Oh, not-
what programs, like what's your, like, are you using a mouse or a tablet, or what programs are you using? Are you using MS Paint or a different program? Because there's some things we can probably help with that on the base level.
definitely, because I was wondering that as well actually. Because I used to use GIMP. Okay, so I'll say with GIMP, it's a great starting program, especially when you have yet to learn how to learn the muscle memory required for a tablet, because there is like a learning curve to graphics tablets, and GIMP is a great program to use when you're not like drawing by hand on a computer. I spent most of my development in art drawing by paper, scanning, and then using the path tools on GIMP to make lines, and I made some quite smoothish cartoony art. It's quite rough at first, but it was really helpful. That carried me a long way. But the thing about GIMP is it's really not good for tablets. Like I don't think I ever got pressure sensitivity working properly. I think it's supposed to have it, but it just doesn't work. Because what immediately jumped out to me is there is none in this. Like the lines are very stark and thick, and they have no guidance to them. So what drawing programs do is they have stabilization, which helps to keep your lines smooth, uh, or and slash or post correction, which smoothens them out after you stop, which I don't particularly like. And they have, of course, pressure sensitivity, which controls the line weight as you put pressure on the pen. And these all help to, especially the sensitivity and the stabilization anyway, they really help to keep your lines flowing smooth. You can just sketch out a line and then just continue it, and you don't have to worry about, because you can see in parts of this, like I can see you've put a lot of attention trying to get lines to meet up, but you're going in an uphill battle trying to, like, when you start a line, it's just going to start in complete thickness, and then you've got to try and get that on the exact pixel of the last line, and that's not going to happen. So it's like, this is good for sketching, but after that I would find, if you can't draw with a tablet, then find another way of making lines on GIMP, like using the path tools. But it looks like you can use the tablet pretty well, so just we can recommend a whole bunch of different programs if you do want to do actual tablet drawing and not path tools, which is a lot more like vector. It will help you so much just to have those smooth lines and everything.
There was a free drawing program. I don't think it was Leonardo. There was something else. Anyone remember it?
I know one, Medibang Paint, I absolutely love as a free drawing program.
I've never heard of that. Huh.
Oh, it is a great one. The reason why I also love it is because it can be used cross-platform, as in, like, you can go from your tablet, like, as in, like, maybe you have, like, an iPad or something, or your phone to your computer. It's all, like, cross-platform free, and there's some artists I follow that just do beautiful, beautiful stuff in it. It just has a lot of nice features and is really great, free, stable program.
There is
I swear they don't sponsor us.
There is an echo, Fluffy's eye.
Oh, okay.
Can you find the link to that program, Allie?
Doing it as we speak.
Awesome. And I will send them our wonderful wiki page that we should really update. Updating it now with that one. There's another one that we were talking about a while ago. I forget its name. It was open source, and it was
Krita.
Krita, thank you.
I was thinking about that a minute ago. Sorry, I didn't know that. If I knew that was what you were thinking of, I could have said it.
If I knew it was what I was thinking of too.
Is Krita free though?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, okay, I remember like there was like a paid version on Steam or something, but I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with it. Krita, I started using it at the very start of its development, and it was like really like rough, and I really liked it at first, and I was like super on board for this, but like I think the problem with it at the moment is that it's like still kind of rough, but also it's a huge CPU monster. Like it will just slow you down so much. Like I've had people in our MLP DS group saying that they have pretty decent gaming PCs and are still getting slowed down by Krita, which is unfortunate.
But what I'd say is try them all. See what you like.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And totally don't Yarhar Clip Studio. In all honesty, they do sales pretty often, and you can usually get it for a pretty good price if you get it at the right time.
Mm-hmm. I like recommending Clip Studio to artists because it's cheap and it's like a blend of SAI and Photoshop, which are
Clip
both
Studio-
also amazing programs.
Clip Studio to me is just the best. Like every program to me has faults. Clip Studio does. It has some things that just aren't very good, like the text tool and jump. But like Photoshop to me is great, but it has too many features and it's not quite as streamlined for drawing. Lots of people make some amazing art with it, but I have yet to understand how because it drives me up the wall and I just cannot get my head around it. But with Clip Studio, it's just so user friendly and it's so streamlined just to be able to pump out art really easily, and it has a ton of great customization and features. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag could be sponsored.
We'll accept your money. We don't know where it'll go, but we'll accept it.
Candy mostly.
Oh, Candy
Damn, me to
Mountain!
BronyCon.
Just fly.
I don't have wings. I'm a mud pony.
Flap flap. Though I think we should move on from this tech talk, because while we could go years and years talking about it, right now best thing to do is download them, try them.
Yeah.
Google how to use videos. There's so many resources out there to help
Yes.
you.
Essentially, right now, that would be the absolute biggest thing to push you forward, because right now you're going to be held back, and there's not much more you can do. Like you've got some really good shape and proportions here. I can see by my friends' scrawlings on this that there's really not much that could be improved. Everything seems to be in the right place, and I was thinking that as well when I looked at it. But just like you absolutely will thank yourself for trying out these different programs and finding one that you like.
Because line weights.
Lines. And I do actually have one other question before I say anything. But would you say your piece here is a sketch or supposed to be line art? Because if this is a sketch for you, I might want to reconsider and point how a sketch could be done differently to help you in the end.
And again, that's still made harder by GIMP not having the full kind of tablet capabilities. But at least you can do something with it.
So did you have an undersketch for this?
They were trying to practice lines better in GIMP, and this was one of the first attempts. This was their first attempt.
Okay, so there was a sketch beneath it. Okay. Cool. So, does Mr. Air Island want to talk of the beautiful pink red lines?
Beautiful pink lines. Not much. I just tried to figure out the general shapes and proportions, which are honestly pretty good, I would say. Everything seems to be mostly in the right places. I would say the eyes probably could use a little bit tweaking.
I agree.
But eyes are tricky. It took me a long time to place the eyes on the right spot on a head. It's really hard. Another thing from the angle of this face, I will probably do the muzzle like a little bit differently, kind of like this that I'm doing right now here. But that's just question of style. How do you want to do it? There's so many ways of doing the muzzle, so I'll say look up references, see what you like, which works best for you. But other than that, maybe the main could be a little bit poofier. We like poof, floof. Which one is it? I can never remember. Means are poofy, right?
Also, I think they mentioned that this is not Twilight, so I think this may be an OC.
Oh, okay. Why was I thinking Twilight immediately? Maybe it's
It's the
magic.
bangs. The bangs for me do it.
Yeah, and magic. It's like if it's a pony doing magic.
It's because it looked like Twilight, like Less Than Zero Twilight. That's right. It looks like the messy mane, but has the same similar sort of style. But that would change with colors for you to see what they actually look like.
Yeah, maybe try to push colors next time.
I'm sure they would have gotten to it eventually. They were just sort of trying to practice their line art, but absolutely that's something to get to as well.
Yeah. But yeah, line art is something I'm usually pretty bad at. But trying to do the lines fast, so whooshing around, is usually really good way to go. But if you're new using a tablet, yeah, that can be a little bit hard. But it's practice.
Yes. Swoosh.
Hmm.
Swoosh in practice.
Yeah, I want to see what do you have up for us next week.
All the arts. Honestly, it will get better with time. It's just a matter of practicing. I can throw the Grand Draw box at you, which is a really great website. If I can just get to it. Pretty much, it's going to help you with line quality control. It's a lot of fundamental stuff, which is super, super important to learning art and just getting these things down. But I suggest going on to Drawbox, checking out their lessons, doing lessons, 1 and 2, great lessons. They may seem boring at times, but the more you do it, the more times you practice the assignments. Yeah, um, keep doing the assignments, like one a day, and then repeat them. A lot of it is muscle memory and getting yourself used to making these strokes
Yeah,
and to
even
use your full arm.
yeah, even I done Drawbox a lot, and nowadays when I'm at work and
Actually,
if I
never
have a
used it.
quieter spot, I usually just start drawing lines on boxes or circles or anything, doing like even a couple of minutes, doing a couple of circles, couple of lines, and over time that adds up a lot.
But yeah. Unless you have any other questions, it might be good to move on since we got all these arts to go through and we want to give everyone a nice chance.
Before the stream, I was like, oh, I kind of hope we have a quick one today, and then I'd come on, it's just all this art, and I can just imagine your painting.
So much art.
Well, you don't need to stay for it all. We do
I
appreciate
think
your
we
help.
should.
Yes.
All right. Next. I also highly suggest hopping onto this Eggy thing that we have going because it's a great place to learn how to draw. I mean, it's a great. Go there.
Express yourself.
Go there.
Take all that frustration you have with drawing and draw something screaming. It'll feel great.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, we
Victory
have.
screech.
I don't think we have any other submissions from our chat, so we're gonna move on to what's just on the thing. We're gonna start at the top left-hand corner.
Good. Alrighty.
So we have. Let me pull up the post here. It's by Orange Juice Rush.
We've had this person before, and I recognize the name and I recognize the style.
Yeah, we have. So they're trying to improve their shading, and they would love to get some critique. So let's critique shading. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that shading's actually is coming along nicely. I think there are a few bits of improvement, but I'll have to start nitpicking. Just to do with the lighting direction, I think is the biggest issue. Like there seems to be a few different sources of light source.
So how do you make sure your light sources all come from one location?
The easiest way to begin with is just draw it also. And then from there, that was a terrible sun. It's like the same color as the sky. There we go. So then that helps to determine just mentally, like, okay, the sun's coming from somewhere over here. That probably wasn't a very good thing for me. That was a very lazy circle. But sometimes that's all you need when it's just like, okay, I know it's coming from the top right somewhere. But where I did it, that's probably a very specific light source. If you're taking it very directly, that's implying it's like right between the wing and the head, or in the background somewhere. You can do it. It's just like a little scribble, or you could do something like this.
Scribble, scribble, scribble.
That sucked really bad. I apologize if that looks doubly. That was supposed to be like an arrow, a 3D arrow on a sphere.
You just made it naughty.
I didn't made it better. Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually done this like 3D arrow thing, so I suck at it. But just that idea of like showing, okay, here is like where the light direction is coming from. If you're like, okay, so now I can see the sun is in the background, point going forward, slightly to the left. So then, like, I can keep referencing that and say, and with every shape I'm drawing, say, okay, am I doing the light hitting the right side of this object, and like how it would hit it. Oh yeah, that's a much better one, Strange. Sorry, thank you. That's weird. I cannot undo.
Gotta erase. Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, just to sum it all up, it's pretty much think of your direction. I think that's you have nice clean cut shadows. This is very cell shading with the everything being super sharp edged. If you want to look into more realistic shadows, you'll find that there's a soft and hard edges to shadows, and they definitely play within each other. Not so much are hard, not so much are soft. It's a big field to look into. Just recommend studying real life photos and such like that to really get that idea across.
I would also say, remember just to keep re-referencing what you're actually drawing. Like every now and then, make sure to just look at the big picture as well as working in detail. But there are going to be many times when you like do the shading on an object, and then you kind of realize it just looks like it's not got the right shape. Like maybe somehow the shading is making it look too thick three-dimensionally wise. Like for these feathers, for example, I mean they look fine, but like if I wanted to stress the idea that they're flat, I would move the shading a bit further towards the edge.
And that would just be based off your light angle, right?
Just like because it might also be the other direction. Sorry, I've got push to talk on, so I can't talk and draw at the same time. But also you could do something like this. And just have like the edge visible as light and have the rest of it shaded. Either way, you're making it a much flatter object. So it's up to you which sort of. I mean, of course, the light direction is paramount, but also you just got to be constantly thinking about the shape of the object. And I can see you've definitely been doing that with the body. There's lots of like shape there, lots of perspective. You can just easily tell that these aren't flat shapes attached to one another. There is definite like roundness to this, and that's sort of like a really good thing that you've built up there. It's just a matter of like saying, okay, looking at where the light, because the light, of course, is a thing. It's a tangible thing that is coming from a direction and wrapping itself around an object. So you're just got to think, is it doing that in the right shape and in the right way?
So yeah, as far as shading goes, I think next time you do something, really consider what direction the light will be coming from. Like, think of it as a 3D form. So like, I'll draw a cube here. Boom, boom, messy little cube, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Just So if their light is all coming from, say, that direction, then you got to consider where your light and your shadow are going to fall. So like if we look at your wings, all your wings have opposite shadows. So just something to think about, in the future. Really consider where the light's coming from and how it would reflect. Like if your light truly is coming from this direction, maybe the light will catch this under part of the feather more than this part, like the side you have lit. So just something to play with next time. And unless there's really anything else to go over, I think it might be good to move on to the next image.
I got nothing. Bueller? Okay.
Bueller.
Woo.
Then we're going to scroll over towards our right. I had to go look at my hand for that one and see which direction to go. I'm horrible with left and rights. Do not ever ask for me directions. I will give you GPS instead.
Oh yeah, I'm in that boat.
So this is by
Hey, I'm not alone.
Where's my hi dweeb? Okay.
We're all
Sorry.
dweebs.
Someone in the chat just yelled, "I'm a dweeb." Hello, dweeb. So this is by Woobis, and they have been doing a bunch of sketching practice, and they post a whole lot of images, and it's great to see. Like, if you want to go see a great post, just go stare at their stuff and be like, "Ah, yes, improvement."
It's tasty, tasty improvement.
Like, very, very vast steps of improvement over the matter of a few weeks. So, of their sketch they posted, this is their last one in their albums, and what I think is their furthest developed into away from MLP and into their own style. I don't know why I'm air quoting here, but style. And it's what I believe would be the best one for us to critique, because if you go look at their old stuff, they pretty much have MLP hammered down to a T, and they're now trying to break away from it, which is how we believe you should approach this. Because once you have your base model, feel free to break it. So, ladies and gentlemen, go at it. No.
Fight.
Your legs are already better than mine.
I see a sneaky dino showing that leg anatomy. That sexy, sexy leg anatomy.
So, the wing leads me to pause a little bit, but it does make sense if you think the body's like quickly doing a turn. But then the fact that the wings are pulled in is a little bit odd for that.
I feel like there's not enough feathers.
So would you put, something like that, unless if the wings are meant to be pulled in, like fully.
Then this wing over here would definitely need to be moved if they're pulled in.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting an inconsistency of how your wings, or what you're trying to convey with your wings. If we go look at this one that's right next to it, massive built-up wings, lots of detail thrown into them. You can see these big swooping objects that are very comparable to that pony. But then we go look at yours, and while they look great, they look more like they're meant to be folded up on the pony as they walk around, not quite mid-flight what it appears to be this pony is in. Or they could be rearing up. I'm not quite sure because we have no context of if they're standing or not.
Mm-hmm. I think they're in flight because the way the hooves are just kind of down here. I'm just kind of like...
Yeah, I would totally agree with in flight. I like the face design. What's up with the oh, I understand.
Passing part, like leap bounding forward, because if I could see motion in the wings, there's not really much motion in the body. So it could be like they're just sort of rearing up, or just like jumping, or making a pose, or just anything really. But like trying to get that consistency between the body and the wings in the general movement of the posture is what you want to be going for. Something that might help is to think about thumbnailing, which I don't know if you did or not. We can't tell. You might have done, but just like, so going like, okay, so like I have my pony. Say we are doing like a twisting in the air thing, so it's like, okay, the wings, yeah, and then like the body, it's gonna be like twisted like this. I don't know, but it's as long as you sort of have a pose in mind, which I didn't. You can just sketch out messy thumbnails, and it really helps you to establish like the general feeling and idea of the picture, and then you can just redo them over and over again until they start making more sense. And then once you got that, you can go, okay, well now I can use that as a reference guide for the picture.
we highly believe in thumbnailing. If you go ahead and look at our subreddit under the beginner guides, you'll see a section on thumbnailing, and it outlines generally what what we believe is a good approach for thumbnailing.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So I've just taken the jaw and moved it slightly over, and the reason is because how wide you've made the opposite side of it. I just wanted to even them out a bit, just so it doesn't feel so swollen on one side. That's I think about all I have for this picture. After the little corrections to the wings and a little correction to the leg that has been shown, you're golden. Now that we say you're golden, I would like to see you keep pushing it. So, if I may give you an assignment, I want to see a fully colored picture from you. It doesn't have to be shaded, nothing like that, but I want to see you take these ponies, add the rest of the mane, and give them color. Give them color, give them a bit of life, and see what you can do from there. Maybe give them a location to stand on, too. Ooh, that'd be good. Just something,
Maybe some clouds in the background. Who knows?
Yeah. Just push
We're
it.
gonna see more.
Push it a little further.
Push it.
Yeah, you don't have to go nuts, but just go as far as you feel you can. But at least try to get that full color in there.
Flagged.
All right, on to the next picture before we get flagged for everything. Keep scrolling.
I'm just a collector of flags.
I feel like we should have Vital for this one.
It is very much a vital horse.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is by... Oh no, Potato Mondio. I can't pronounce the name. So it's going to be Patio Mondio today. There is no D in there, so that's still right though. Don't worry about it. So it's a random angry unicorn. Please critique. Unfortunately, it's been 3 days and they haven't got any critique. Come on, guys. Pick up your critiquing feet. We can't be the only ones doing this. Critiquing is wonderful. Everyone should do it. It helps you learn.
And learning is friendship. I mean magic. I mean learning.
Yeah, it's learning. Learning is learning.
That was an amazing sentence, Ali.
Oh, your chair screams for you.
Oh my god.
Chairs always sound like a wild animal that's injured. Or in an elk.
That's pretty extreme.
Well, I mean, clouds look like weird things too. So how come sounds can't look like things, can they?
They can if you look at the frequency graph.
Or you put like sand under them and you vibrate the sand? I don't know.
Or you make a face in your audio program like Fruity Loops. I saw a Tumblr post where someone had basically made Mickey Mouse's face as just like a pattern with their sounds and then just let it play and it was actually really catchy.
Hey, Ellie,
Yes.
do you see something odd about how the pony's standing?
Yes.
Like
they
if-
are. They're on and off the. It's like. So the way I see it is that you draw on the line. So there's a perspective down there, but it feels flat, very very flat, and I'm not quite sure what plane things are on.
Hey, Fluffy,
Yes.
I think your push to talk failed.
No, I took it off because I was trying to draw it and I keep forgetting it's off.
Oh.
It's so hard to draw and not be able to talk at the same time.
Sorry. It was just flooded with typing. Tippity typing.
So I think the thing that kills the plane for me is the rock, because
Yeah.
the rock is just flat here. There's nothing, no shape to it, no 3D feel. It's just kind of like a rock
And
on
here's
2D.
Air Island coming in with the fix to fix it all. Just give it shape, give it depth.
Depth and shape and form, make all the things cool.
Totally not copyrighted. But the use this pink square Ali has laid down for you is a wonderful method in your original undersketch to figure out how that pony is standing with the rest of the environment. So if you aren't going
That's
to,
our island.
was it really? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for all of it then. So if you draw out that initial area that they're standing in, and you aren't going to bother drawing out any of the foreground or background around them, so no figuring out point of perspective and all that. If you're just drawing them sort of floating in air with maybe something around them, this is a great way. That pink square, this thing that is now highlighted with turquoise. Great method of figuring out how their feet are going to stand, because once you align their body and feet to that, everything else can be easily aligned, such as objects, tail sitting like this tail. We can now quickly see that it doesn't make sense where that tail's sitting. It would be actually more behind the pony. It would end up flopping down over here, and then just be over there behind the pony, as opposed to off to the side, left or right, because spine follows backwards. That makes sense, right?
Totally.
Because we've also moved your tail down to make it follow the spine. Yes, these are linked together. But if you follow along the spine of your horse back here, this green line that I'm drawing out, it follows from the base, from the back of the head, about halfway up, all the way across the top of the back. And because your pony is mostly parallel to us, profile to us, not parallel, the tail will follow right out here, just across the surface, and pop out the back. And where it comes out, like this, is where the tail connects. And it's just a small, thin area that then grows into that big, poofy, wonderful tail. From there, you can easily figure out how that tail falls down, because the legs are going to be straddling either side of it if it's straight on.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy thing to mix up. So many people do it. Even the comic has it wrong a bunch of times. Why? Because it's easy to fail. And it's easy to mix up, and it's easy to forget about. But if you take the time and move it behind the body where it deserves to be, and give it that little overlap, your picture suddenly pops a lot more, because overlapping is magic.
It's beautiful. I can't be flagged if I don't go any further than that.
It's Cute Pencil Case's picture.
Oh.
Flagged. Flagged.
No.
Alright, anyone else have any critique on this? I see someone on the leg. I see someone on the general head shape.
I'll just quick say something about the leg. I would just be careful of the anatomy of it. It seems like this is something that I see very often, because the way the show miniaturizes horses, they kind of like squish the bones together to make it look like a leg is like, oh, it just has this thing poke out, but it's just the leg. In reality, that's like a bone thing going on. So instead of just having this little, this isn't here just to poke out. This isn't just like some I don't know what to call it, like a built-on thing to the leg. It comes out like Air Island's drawing above me. It actually comes out its own little joint there. It's a bone. So be careful to demonstrate that.
Did you just become Russian?
Probably, I don't know. I butchered it if anything.
Have you just been watching Orange is the New Black? You're just being
I
red?
actually have yet to watch that.
Alright, that's fine. It's on Netflix. You just have a reason to binge watch 5 seasons.
Anyway, for after show talk, I don't want to derail us too much.
In Mother Russia, art draws you.
Does it really?
Dang. Though for real, some of my favorite pony artists are Russian, and I love what they do.
Yeah,
But isn't that
I don't
true
understand.
of all art? I forgot I was muted and said that funny line, and now it's not as funny.
But yeah, I'd be careful with the natty. Even in the front hooves, legs, they seem to be off. I really just suggest get yourself a picture of a horse. See how the legs actually go. References are your best friend. And like I could redline the entire thing, but you're gonna get more out of it if you look up that reference, because I'm sure there's references of horses with like one of their hooves up and all that fun things.
I guarantee there's references because I've looked at them. I've used them. They're wonderful.
Beautiful.
Just
So, yeah.
like you.
Wow. Aw, you're such a sweetie, Zom Zom.
Aww. Do I win a pizza now?
Yes.
Sweet.
I'll pay you that check thing that I paid you to say that.
Yes, royalty checks.
So, next pony.
I think so.
Should we check in on the Aggie really quick?
We should check in on the Aggie, because the Aggie is friendship, and you don't want to not be part of friendship. Look at this friendship going on here. Seriously, join in on the Aggie. Don't be intimidated by it. It's a little bit of a weird program, but everyone gets to draw at once. You just hop on a layer and doodle your life away. And it's silly, it's fun, it's great.
I see some raritatoes there. Somebody better go and exterminate them before they take over.
Yeah, they're a real problem. They just sort of started spreading everywhere.
That fairy tato is adorable.
I think
Somehow it is.
somehow it's a raritado. They're all just the most adorable
Screaming.
things.
They're creepy.
I think you're mistaking what a raritado is. All right, on to the next picture then. Scrolling. I'm not so good. There's the mouse.
Squeak, squeak.
We're gonna do the two ponies flying this time, and this is by
The two
Suddenly
adorable
Ponies.
ponies flying.
They are really adorable. I think only one's actually flying. Yes, only one has wings. The other one's falling gracefully.
Falling with style.
So, they're asking for posing thoughts. We love Suddenly Ponies, by the way. Suddenly Ponies lays down a heck of a lot of wonderful critique for everyone. You should all thank Suddenly Ponies. And if you get critiqued by them, double high five.
Double high five.
Bringing MLPDS to Derpy? What do you mean by that? Like Derpy Boo? Put it on the alert thing? We don't generally think about these things. We just sort of do. Let's be honest. This is hodgepodge
Sort of
together.
like, oh, it's Tuesday. Oh no.
Cute pencil case with the best critique of the day to add more fluff.
It is a fair critique. All right. Ooh, we got someone sectioning them off.
Air Island on a roll.
Getting
Well,
in with that rule of thirds.
posing, like, two ponies posing, it's got a lot to do with composition, and rules of third is usually pretty good way to figure out it. This is really not very good of sectioning. It's really uneven, but
It gets the point in.
it gets the point in. You, with rules of third, you kind of wanna. Well, there's a lot of good guides about rules of third. Go check them out. search internet. But basically, the point is you kind of want to get your characters where these lines cross, or the points of interest, not the characters, but the point of interest. So I think this is actually really good. If I would be shifting this grid a little bit, I think we could get one of the points line pretty nice with Pegasus on there, and the other one with Earth Pony. So yeah, I think composition-wise, I think it's pretty good. I like how they have eye contact. They're a little bit on a different level, but you're both clearly seeing both of them and their interaction.
I think with all the thirds, there's different ways you can follow it. One thing is trying to align yourself with the line itself, like you were saying. Another is focusing on the actual points as well. But you also got to understand the segments, the columns and rows that it presents. And this character on the right is very good because she's well and truly in this right hand column, and you know you got the head and then the body in the first two rows as well. The second pony is as well, but like the fact that you've got like one in the right and then one kind of in the center is like slightly, I don't know, it makes it slightly feel like it falls flat, but I do think it's good because you've got very much of the middle column filled and you've got this kind of sweeping motion diagonally here, which is quite good. But it does mean that there's empty space left here and here in the bottom right and bottom right and top left.
Well, empty space is not necessarily bad.
Yeah, not necessarily. Like if you were thinking that there was something off about the composition, this is the fact that you've got a pattern going is good. But like if you were worried that there was something off about it, maybe just put something in the bottom right or something. I don't know, but like doing anything to kind of just like fill out the fact there's just these two ponies is fine. But like if say you want to do a background, what you could do is put like a tree. You've got some apples, some terrible apples in this tree. And look, that's already got a much nicer composition there. And then like you have some clouds or something in the top as well as like coming out from behind the characters. So then immediately you've got something filling out the picture. And now you can see just how amazingly these characters slot into the background.
Yeah, but otherwise, just if we are just like talking about the poses, I like them a lot. It's two really good poses, I think. They got eye contact. There's nice movement going on.
Like I can really see this wing moving like that. Like I can really sort of see this flapping down, and that really gives that motion there. Although is this with this pony? Have they just like forgotten? Is there just like not a wing, or are they levitating, or are they supposed to be jumping? Because I think they're jumping because you got the legs very outstretched at the back, which looks like they've kicked off. So that's very good. That's very well done there. Like it really looks like they're sort of in mid bound at the apex and about to like fall onto their front hooves. So I think you've done a really good job there. Don't know how much of it was like study, how much of it was accidental, but if you did want to sort of accentuate the motion of this pony, I think the tail could use a bit of stretching. I don't know how much, like the tail is just meant to be like a fluffy thing that's just going to kind of hang behind them, but like remember that this is a big weight that's going to have a lot of forces put against it. It's going to be dragged right out as much as it's capable of doing. It needs to have quite a bit of pull to stay in that position. I can see you've already done something with the hair, the way it's sweeping back here, but just try and sort of copy that with the tail, have it maybe coming out here at kind of a sharp an angle as you can get it. The spokes and everything are still going to be there, but they're going to be very much kind of squished in. You don't have to do it too much. Try and keep as much of the shape as you can. I was doing it kind of badly there, but like you just want to sort of show that it's being stretched and being pulled. So at least exaggerating it, like I just did, you sort of get the feeling of limitations and how to like find the good middle ground.
All right.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. I think it's a Really good pose. I would like to see more. I would like to see some background.
Give
More
the ponies
contexts.
something to play.
Yeah, more context on the picture. A story. What's going on. But yeah,
Yeah, cutie.
that's good. It's really cute. I think the ponies are adorable. Like absolutely adorables. Adorbs.
2 adorbs. But before I forget to mention, Zom, someone has something to critique in the voice chat channel.
No.
Corin sees Zol. Corin Zol11.
Slaving. Looks like an homage to Fuliculi. Or Fuliculi, or however it's pronounced. I think they're both actually accurate. Edit. It's huge.
I know, I was just being silly.
What?
So many usernames. He's gotta be silly.
We don't allow silliness here.
Oh.
Bant.
Wow. I feel betrayed.
What am I doing? Oh yeah, looking for my pants.
Your pants? They ran away during the stream?
Yes, they did. Got too warm. No.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna do theirs next.
Sounds golden.
It is posted down in the bottom, and it looks like Pinkie Pie riding a moped. Maybe Pinkie Pie. It's got the pink heart, or the balloons and the curly hair, but it's very tamed curly hair compared to normally Pinkie Pie. Normally when people do Pinkie Pie, her hair is just like, "Hi everyone!"
Curly hair. Dino gets it. So, my first question is she leaning on anything else besides the guitar?
They are in here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. You okay there, buddy? I mean, I've made the same sound when I bang my head off a door more than once. You know, just when you want to get revenge on the door.
Of course, of course.
It had it
Revenge
coming.
of the doll.
Exactly.
Well, is there anything else we can give critique on while we wait to hear back?
It's kind of bizarre we aren't hearing back. They're right here. But okay.
Sorry, my dad walked in.
You need to hide your pony?
No, I was talking to him.
Oh, that's weird.
Demands my
Talking
full attention, therefore Nestle.
people. I guess. Alright. So then, what was our question? We were waiting.
The question was, is she only leaning on the guitar, or is there anything else?
No, there's going to be a wall behind that. I haven't done any of the background aside for a base sketch.
Okay. I can't tell, but what do you guys think? Do you think the head should be a bit bigger? It feels a little small on her body.
For human proportions?
That depends on a style, I would say.
It's about right for human. 7 to 1 is the general rule of thumb.
Fair, fair.
It
Yeah,
looks
fair.
about right. What I can tell, quickly sketching over it.
I think it's
Oh man,
weird.
you have
'Cause
no idea how many times I redrew this. Ugh.
I think it's weird to us because we're used to the horses with their big.
Yeah, humans are hard. We don't
Yeah.
really
Oh,
understand
and
humans.
let me
Well,
tell
I can.
you, trying to translate Pinky's hair over is a nightmare.
Uh,
Merida! Done.
yeah. Go watch Brave again, and now you have the perfect mane. Yes, even Merida has a mane, not a hair. It's a wild, untamed monster.
Oh, same though.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't really, Things
I
things
guess
seem pretty
my
okay.
questions would be: does the Vespa look like it's in line with her and the base, and like, does everything look like it's on the same general plane? Is my issue, because I think somewhere on, I think some parts of the Vespa just look like they're not quite straight. I guess this was a lot of things to draw at once, you know.
The I'll be honest, the way her legs propped up on the on the Vespa really concerns me because those handles generally aren't load bearing. But I mean, from an art piece, it's fine. Uh,
Don't worry. It's a space Vespa. It flies.
oh well, that's well then it definitely is from Fleekily.
The real funny thing is that this is based on Fooly Cooley, and that's actually entirely true.
I
I
mean,
would-
maybe you could make the seat instead of, because right now the seat just looks like a flat, like a thing. It feels like a tabletop rather than like a seat. Usually seats are curved to sit on comfortably. So I would think about maybe adding some bends and such to that to make it feel like it's, forming to her butt just a little bit more.
Yeah, the Vespa is kind of half drawn on one layer and half drawn on another, and I'm gonna have to do some layering stuff with the handlebars as it is. So I decided against making those marks just yet.
I would take this foot and leave it dangled behind that front wheel and that support member on the front. The reason is if your headlight here is in line with that support member, it's been pushed off slightly towards the left side of that entire vehicle, and then you've brought her leg leftwards more too, but it doesn't appear to turn like that. So if you're to leave it just dangling as it was, where it's just on resting on that nut or that ridge beside the headlight, then it'd make more sense if it's not on the center member. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. I made sense once. Next,
Woo.
I'll make dollars. That's all I got for this one. It looks great. I just don't have much to say. It's not completed, as you said. It still has a lot to go on. It's just your line works good as ever. Yeah.
If you want to push yourself, the only thing I would say is play with line weight a little bit more. Because you have a lot of very, very thick lines all over the clothing where you could maybe think of thinning some up, like where the creases are. Like how you have the hair so thin, maybe get some crease lines to be that thin.
Okay. Definitely had to mess with the lines for the guitar. All those knobs are a different size.
Yeah. I think just keep going. This is looking good so far.
All right, cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Woo!
All right, we're gonna go on to the next one then.
There's a floofy beast next to it. The
I don't-
floofiest Pinkie Pie.
I don't know where that floofy beast came from. I think it was summoned.
By the strange dinosaur.
Strange dinosaur. All right, we're gonna scroll back up, and we're gonna go. Oh, look, someone was already doodling on this one. The Cadence and Shiny one, it also looks like it's the Changeling Cadence, which we know is the original Cadence, and she actually lied this entire time. Dun dun dun. So this one was actually submitted via PM to me. So take that.
Top secret submission.
I have to find the name. Sorry, I clicked out of my PMs. No, it was in. Wait, was it? Where did it go? Ellie! No, it was in Discord.
Did you eat it?
This was the Discord one. It was by Phantom. There we go. They didn't actually ask any questions offhand. But we said we'd critique it anyway. Because that's what we do. That's what we're paid to do.
We're paid?
Well, paid in hugs. And sometimes people submit art to us. They're like, hey, we drew you this picture. We're like, oh my god!
Ah!
It's been a long time since I've seen these two.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta rewatch Canterlot Whitting. So, let's do this!
Do it! So, I'd say one of the first things that pokes out to me when I really look at it is that the face structure could use a little work, as well as the anatomy of the arms. Because if I look here, it just kind of like shoulders up and then curves around. I'm not quite sure what's happening, and then the other arms coming around the other side. Something feels off about it.
I think it's how thin the shoulder got to be met with the curving, like the rubber arm. That's what bothers me there.
Mm-hmm. And then also Shining Armor's neck is so thin and long.
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah. I didn't even notice the arm like that, or the neck like that.
So that would be some things to be careful of next time. Watch out for, placement and length and stuff. While something can look like at first glance, like people said, like some didn't even notice how long the neck was, but like it's good to be conscious of how the body would sit on this, because like the proportion wise, Caden's head, Caden slash what's
Chrysalis.
Thank you. I'm blanked on the name. Yeah, Caden slash Chrysalis's head is actually bigger than Shining Armor's, and her body is also, well, compared to his neck size, her body looks smaller than his body because we can't even see his body, so I'm assuming it's like large and underneath, and she's just on top of him holding on.
Maybe she is.
Undersketches, construction lines, basic shapes, all good things to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And just to reiterate what those are, undersketches is that initial sketch you do before you start everything. It's what you build it all off of. Just,
If you scroll Living Dead just below the image, we have Stranger Source kind of demonstrating how the undersketching could go.
Sorry, I often lose those little images. There we go. It's the one just above the infinity symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thanks for the heads up.
So like stuff like that, just to really figure out where things are, even if it's not going to be in your image, still figure out how his body would sit. All that kind of advice.
That kind of advice. That stuff we give. Just go search through the videos for it.
No.
All right. I guess to add to that, the mouth isn't too bad, but it does have a little. Oh, I know what's wrong with that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. One moment. I was trying to figure out what was wrong. It was taking me a bit. And it's just the general. Ooh, I need a bigger pen. So if we throw the good old box'em method on this, it's now box'em. We're making it fancier.
Boxing.
Boxin? I took the box into the forest. Hello, Olipek. Olipek? Yes, she does apparently have a light inside of her mouth. But I'll give her, because she is a changeling and they're too weird. But if we...
Something that I kind of want to comment on overall, Shining Armor feels like I just color picked over him, and he feels like he is very pushed towards the green palette tone, yet there is nothing to indicate there's a green light shining on him other than her direct glows, but it is all over his face and arms and everything, so this might be a thing where you need to give more indication where the light's coming from, and if it is this intense changeling, like, you know, crossover, I think it would either be more intense and more direct, so say like, let me just, oh no, General Pyle's not responding.
No!
Let me see if I can word it out. Like having the green glows from her arms changing. Instead of it being all over his face, have, you know, these reflections under his chin, you know, the places where the light's gonna hit when it's shining off of her arm. Because that is where the green light source is, instead of just like, because right now he feels like he's in a spotlight wash of a green tone. Everything is green, instead of intense glows from her changing. Hopefully that makes sense.
And then you can do some secondary light where you do that green but very dimmed on highlighting areas like the horn. Oh, big stretch. Oh, that feels so good. Everyone, just take a moment to stretch. We've been hunched over our tablets drawing for a while.
Oh, wait, you're right, White. Oh, that's nice.
Uh-oh, Allie's falling asleep. 10 cc's of hugs, quick!
We still got a couple of arts to do. Come on, people. You can do it.
Power through the arts.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no, no.
And I think also the same could be said for Cadence. You have some nice of those like green highlights. Am I back? Yeah, I'm back. You have some of those nice green highlights on her hair here, but and like down here on her body, but like it kind of fades and we get a lot of dark tones like all over. I think if you're gonna have this extreme close green glow, really have it reflect on them. And right now I see a lot of dark and dirty areas like under the necks here and here. They're very dark. But we have green glow here, so maybe it'll get a little green in here. Little scribbly scribble areas.
Paint her with light. I think that's the gist of that one. Don't be afraid of it. It really, really does make a picture pop. You're halfway there. Alright then, shall we move on to our next one?
I think that would be a lovely call.
This lovely little changeling here.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Come on.
It makes me think of like a really cool emoticon, like if you could make that small and it'd still be recognizable.
I think it would be just based on how it's a vector. That's what this looks like. Just based, it's sharp edges and all that. It must be a vector. Because
it's really symmetrical. Like if you look at it, it's like,
yeah. And vectors aren't bad. We aren't saying they're bad. It's just we just like to know how things are done. So this one is by Lucardo117. If I'm actually not mistaken, they have submitted a lot of other pictures. Yes. They might not actually be vectoring. Because in the past they've done hand-drawn images.
So then my question is, you might want to check your pressure sensitivity, because if your lines are ending like this, odds are something is not right.
like the eyebrows here. More of that, please. Like where the lines fade off. That looks very good. Like it could line when the lines vary on the length and thickness. Wait, what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is more line variation.
Mm-hmm.
English, me speak no Americano.
That's a type of coffee. Just saying.
Well, I don't speak coffee.
Oh,
Coffee.
coffee. Oh no, we can't get
Coffee.
political in here, guys.
We're not, we're just enjoying some good coffee.
All right. I actually have no real critique beyond sharpen up those little bits. You might want to consider, as we said, pressure sensitivity. If this is a vector, please respond and say, "You dumbasses, this is vector. Come on." And in that case, what I think would help this is if you actually go in with your eraser tool after the fact and sharpen up some of the corners, such as here. Whoop. Want to sharpen those a little bit. And we're going to sharpen these guys out a little bit so we don't see the brush stroke come out beyond them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just something that came into my mind. For me, these eyes look really hollow. Maybe it's because it's red and the background is also. They also almost look like empty to me. So I will try to do something, maybe change the color a little bit, or maybe darker red like I'm doing here right now, to give it a little bit more something. I don't know. For the eyes bother me a little bit for some reason. I don't know.
There's also no eye shines.
Did the changelings have them? Mouthful of tablet pen. Can't speak through tablet pen. Did the changelings have eye shines in the show? Or were they
They-
soulless
Yeah,
creatures?
The changelings just has weird glowy eyes.
Changelings.
Yeah, they just got
They-
glows.
They got like one
Yeah. Like someone took
something like this.
the gradient.
Like I
effect.
see what you're trying to do, but I think the colors you just chose are too close to the background colors. So to me, they look a little bit empty.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe play a little bit with the eye color. Maybe something like this. This is just suggestions and me playing around, trying to figure out what I would do.
And playing around is half of how we learned. We just sort of faked it
Yeah.
till we made it. And then we
And
faked it
maybe give
even
it
more.
some, like there's some little highlights there, but maybe push the shadows a little bit more. Decide where the light is coming from and give it even more shadows. Shadows are always gonna make your picture pop. But yeah, I don't have anything else for this one. It's a pretty nice changeling.
Alright, we're gonna move on. Scrolly. Oh my gosh, I think it's the last one.
The
It's the
final
last
one.
And it's the really big, colorful, crazy one. There's a lot of going on.
Derpy.
Alright, so
Playing
this
guitar
one,
while it looks like sun is exploding. Pony
It's-
will do smithereens.
it's actually, one sec, it's got a label on it. It's called Black Hole Sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? No, just
Black-
Black Hole Sun. And it's by Demon Da Vinci. I just wanna-
Really quick, if anyone has any other art they would like critiqued, throw it at our faces now, so we know when we can go on to the next one, if there is a next one.
Can I start with a few things that came in my mind?
Yeah, by all means.
You're having a really intense light source right here in the sun. Just a moment, let me set my, like, right here. This looks like really intense light source. So I would like to see more contrast between the shadows and the lights. Like, on this wall that Derby is sitting, this shaded part is, it's pretty good. It has a strong dark shadows. I would like to see that throughout the picture, like here on the tower and the roof, this windmill thingy. Half of it should be really dark because this black hole sun just seems really bright and intense as a light source. So that will make sense that the shadows would be really dark too.
I agree. Definitely. It's definitely an intense light source.
Yeah, and maybe even darken the red bit here on the background, give it more contrast between the background and the derby on the mid ground. Yeah, it's probably a mid ground at this point. But yeah, that would just be something I would probably do. One good thing that I like to do is a lot. I don't know what art program you are working, but check your values every now and then. Turn your everything, all the colors you have in black and white. There's usually the art programs have some way to do it. Usually some setting or a couple of tricks. In Clip Studio Paint, you can just do a hue layer and make it black and lay it over everything. And check your values. See where's your lightest lights and darkest darks, and try to push them, try to balance them. That would be my tip.
I've just added a little more shape to Derpy's muzzle. You have a lot of shape to start, like an intense amount of blockiness going on. I would just and I know we've talked to this about before about the muzzles, and I'm pretty sure we led you on to doing blockier muzzles. Now I'd take it back a bit, just sand down that muzzle a bit. Grab the power sander. We're just gonna smooth it out a bit. Give it the adorable rounded curves that we know all these marshmallowed horses have. Holy crap! I have to commend just a few little bits of light on here that really just pop out as incredible. This one. This one right here. Want everyone to stare at this one, the cheek one. Beautiful. It starts on a hard edge and then it fades as it moves out. That is perfect. You pat yourself on the back, go grab yourself a beer, whatever you need to do. That is it. Now follow through with the rest. Because we have hard edges, or edges that should be hard and going into soft, like coming off this guitar and that, off the edges here. As we wrap down the side of Derpy's hip here, we could go from the hard to soft. Things like that. Also, all these green edges that I've run across, you didn't drop any shadows on there despite putting shadows on Derpy where they are. I would just continue out the shadows. Just make sure they're around the same value as he said. Using the grayscale tool is going to be a very helpful thing to this. So long, Salami. Thanks for coming. Keep it up. Keep it up, Ichi. You are getting wonderful.
Yeah, this was a great push. I love to see artists push and do this. I know it's scary and I know it's hard, because that's something I know I have trouble with personally, is just get yourself to do a big piece. Like, you can sketch and do little ponies and do this and that, but to push yourself, even if you don't know everything, it's gonna help you learn to just try something like this.
Right? Little ponies are safe. Big ponies, big drawings, they're getting intimidating.
Pays off though.
Totally.
So I just played with the legs, because there is a bit of a weird angle going on with how you have things bending on this leg here. So what I did was kind of like a more relaxed sitting position on the wall, because right now I kind of like her legs bending towards us. Like if I were to, I'll get a hot pink. If I were to draw a box on the leg, it feels like it's bent this way.
You know what I think they're trying to do? That crossed leg thing? Like trying to cross legs over each other?
I can see that, yeah.
I just don't think it hit home.
I would definitely, if you want to try to do more cross-leg thing. I would do a little bit more relaxed. Like I have it like the one kind of sort of falling over the other. Ponies are weird. They have like very hard anatomy to cross-leg. It goes very cartoony. So it's bound to break a little, but there's ways to make it still feel nice. Trying to think if there's anything else.
There's a lot of it comes down to shading and trying to get more texturing. Like this wall has some great start on it, but then it's obvious at a certain point you went, holy crap, I'm done with this. I'm just throwing a coloring onto it. Thwop.
Yeah, like this road here, could use some texture. Try to play out with texture brushes. They're a really quick way to add some nice texture without drawing every single thing yourself. And you can even mix and match through some details and then just cheat in rest with the texture brushes.
Yeah, I think texture is something that'll really help push things. Because right now it does feel flat. There are parts that feel flat, like this tower feels... Oh, stop it doing the thing. This tower feels flat. This one feels flat. All these edges you have going on make things feel...
Texture is great.
Texture combined with that shading is going to help those things become not flat. Because right now they all kind of look like 2D cutouts that just kind of poke up from the background.
I would say it's a lot easier to do textures by actually creating and playing around with stuff in the program rather than just importing something. It's much easier to do that in Photoshop because there's so many nice features and like things that you can tell it to do, from filters to layer effects and all kinds of everything in between that can do some really cool stuff. That it's actually pretty complex, but it's all pretty easy to use. And you can find some tutorials to make some pretty cool textures. But CPC, unfortunately, CSP, not CPC, CPC has a filter for permanent cute. Now, Clip Studio Paint, unfortunately, is like really simple in its filters. It hardly has anything. It's like the only thing I know how to do is like do a I don't even know what it's called in Clip Studio, but it's like the clouds thing, the noise grain or whatever, and then just slap like a noise filter on it, and then you can make like a nice sort of papery texture or like sandy or dusty texture. But like that's all it can really do. Unfortunately, Photoshop can do so much more. So sometimes it is worth like loading up Photoshop with the resolution of image you're doing and just actually making a texture and then importing it, because you can get some pretty cool stuff. But other than that, just look for brushes, because there's some pretty awesome things. You can get stones, you can get leaves, you can get grass, you can get all kinds of things that just have a nice like effect that you can just gently brush over stuff. And like that pathway to the left that's kind of going off into the distance, you can just like start off with really small particle size and brush size and just kind of go over it and just gradually increase it as you go, getting bigger and bigger. And that way you'll get that perspective of distance.
By the way, hello Stratojaw. You probably have the best entrance of any person into this. You called us cool.
We're cool.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be.
Aww,
Yay, we're the cool league.
They're just rubbing our ego really hard right now. I'm just gonna just a big hug. Just hug. Yeah. Oh, right. Hugging mics doesn't work.
What's cooler than cool?
20% cooler.
Okay,
Ice
that's allowed.
cold.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we can bring it right back to the 90s.
I'm so glad you caught the reference. I was gonna be sad.
Do we get to wear hammer pants though?
Depends.
Well, we're scary. I mean, zombies and cats and stuff. There's a few elements that can be adjusted in the background, like the shape of this silo that has the green circles on it. and that can all be done. That can all be figured out earlier. At this point, I would say there's no point in adjusting those types of buildings because that's going to be a complete redraw, recolor for those. Leave it as it is. Go on to the next one. You could do the little rocks here, maybe fix a little of the shading, but those are all minor changes. No use in doing major changes at this point. Just remember for the next one, remember what you learned, and go on. Because what's the point in focusing 40 to 60 hours on a single picture? Just, you can do more. Just keep going. At least that's my 2 cents. 20, about 6 cents now, because I keep saying that term.
All the sense.
It makes sense. Dollars even. CPC, are we critiquing that picture? Also,
It's a very pretty picture.
I would like to remind everyone we have an Aggie going. It is much like the Discord, or not Discord. Well, it is kind of like the Discord.
It's like Discord, but with pictures.
Yeah, it's like the draw pile, but not quite.
It's better.
Yeah, it works a lot better. We just can't import pictures into it, so we can't use it for this.
Womp womp.
But yeah, we suggest everyone join it. Go follow the link that Stranger Source has posted. And you too can draw with the rest of us.
There it is.
Allie.
No.
Flag.
No. You can't keep me down.
Flag.
Is Timo getting flagged for singing a flagged song?
Yeah, maybe.
So is this a flag?
Wait, but would it be
Inception?
considered fair use? Because
As I said earlier, I don't think copyright counts as singing. People sing on YouTube things all the time.
It does though. That's interpretive. That's transformative. It's covered under transformative creations when you recreate it like that. But
yes.
there's all sorts of annoying copyrights. Some say yes, some say no. It's hard to follow any of them.
So we just make a big joke out of all of it.
Yeah. Anywho, we aren't the My Little Copyright channel. We're the Copyright Strike channel.
See you in courtroom.
So
Sorry.
is there anyone else who would like to submit art for critiquing? Because this is the last one we have in our queue.
If no, then we can go sleep.
Wait, Q Pencil Case. They submitted one. So you don't have anything to say about it. Oh!
Cute.
Let's open it up. Pew 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 pew. I just gotta shrink it.
It's just
I
a
know.
really adorable picture.
Folder. By the way, to anyone who's in the chat who's not in our Discord, feel free to hop in. You'll find the Discord link in our description. It's a great group of people. There's people like this person and that person and this other person over there.
Don't forget about the other guy.
Ooh, you can't forget about him. He's pretty cool.
And all the strangers.
Stranger danger. Wee woo wee woo wee woo. Oh my gosh, there's so many doodles on this thing.
It's been quite a doodle-filled day.
Doodles are the best.
The best part of waking up is doodles on your paper. That was definitely breaking like at least one copyright. But
At least.
don't worry. You know they
Lagged.
Dang it.
Too late.
So Allie has a deep personal connection with this horse.
What?
It's like her spirit animal.
What? No, what? It's not like I have a collection of potato-shaped versions of this horse.
You do have a collection of potato shape.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, color me tickled rarity.
Her color's basically just a very slightly tinted blue. Like the lightest tinted blue gray, and it's very subtle. Yeah. That's the tint.
I love these curls.
Yeah.
Love these curls. Ah! Curly
it-
horses are best horses.
it's going to take you a long time to tease your mane into that alley.
Oh god. Not teasing, that's just full on. Whew, I don't know how much product that would take to get the big rarity curls.
I think they're like $60 for the fake hair on Amazon. Just shave off and it'll be fine. You'll just permanently
Bro,
glue
where
it
are
on.
you shopping? I found wigs for 20.
I was going for the good ones.
Oh, fair enough. Honestly, I don't have much to critique. Obviously, this is an experimental piece, so I don't know. I don't really like to critique experiments. It's like see where it goes.
So they're,
Go with it.
in case you're wondering, what they were doing was they were experimenting with watercoloring to see if they could digitally recreate their watercoloring stuff, because they do some gorgeous watercolors, and they're attempting to recreate that digitally. At least that's my understanding.
Yes, I believe so. I
Um,
mean, do you think the horn could use a little tweak upwards a little bit more?
if I can be honest, I don't like the horn itself.
I was gonna say as well. Like it's. I get you trying to have that sort of spirally seashell, but it kind of just looks like a bunch of snowballs. You can definitely improve that. It's just about sort of focusing on that spiral shape and really how to get that 3D shape in. But I think starting off with, if I can actually draw, this is not working. Starting off with just the actual typical like straight horn shape, and then like working in the details works a lot better. So you got to get that rounded shape in, and then after you're sort of happy with that, then if I can figure out how to erase in this, that erasing the whole thing. Okay, then you can say, okay, I'm going to sort of like cut this in a bit, so do this sort of thing going on. It also depends how you want to do it, but you sort of have an experiment, and you can usually find a cool way of doing the horn shape if you don't want to just have it as like a flat object. And I can understand why you'd want to give it more depth, but just try to sort of focus on that shape really. That's what I'm saying.
See, now I'm gonna be on the opposite side of you two because I actually kind of like that shape, because to me this is like I see this as like a this is like I said, it's a fun experimental piece, but like the thing I like about it is it makes me feel like it makes me think of pearls. So like to think of rarity with a pearl horn,
does
like
kind of
very graceful
make
and
sense.
shiny. That's why I like it.
Imagine if they all had different shapes for horn.
Yeah, like I can totally see that as like a very like because like at the end of the day, like unicorn horns, they're made up things. They're you
Mhm.
know, and like if we're really going for like a technical fix, I know Q Pencil Case can draw horns, done 1,002 times, like more probably. But like as for the shape, I actually don't mind the shape because like I said, it's very reminiscent to pearls for me. So I just like I think of rarity with a pearl horn. I'm like, yeah, I like that idea.
Of course, you Rarity fan over here.
What can
But
I
I like the
say?
idea as well. It definitely fits her as a character.
I I don't see pearls as being her thing though, and I understand they pretty much match her coat, but I see like thin silver chains and that sort of metallic shiny non-organic to be more of her thing. I don't know.
I mean, there's 1,002 ways. That's the fun thing of art. Like we all have an opinion on this, and that's why we also asked to take critique with a grain of salt because our word is not final. We can give our view and how we think you can fix it. We try to help. You know, most we try to help with is basic, fundamental stuff like anatomy or form or that kind of things we can point out if we see like a consistent style. Like CPC has a very flowy, floofy style, so like they may not be like show style, may not be like real horses. It's like in between. You got the big floofy ears. It's like I know they can do these things because I've seen them art so much. This is just a lucky example because they art so much and they're part of the Discord and they always are at these streams and all that fun nonsense. But yeah, There's so much to art.
See, I just drew a much more fun horn shape. It's like the sort of seashell spirally style, like the plushies have. And it's a very nice. That was I sort of I was just experimenting there. So yeah, as we were saying, just play around with things. And I just sort of did like the S. You can do sort of like an S shape leading out
Okay.
from itself, and it makes like a little spirally.
Apparently CPC was going for a pearl horn.
You win this one, Allie. How can one join the Discord server? Well, all they do is scroll down.
Is this piece actually by Kimetsu case?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it did not look like a star. Okay, that's pretty cool.
You wanna use that link. What link is that?
Oh, see, okay, so if you're someone who thinks you don't have permission to post, go on, read that rules page in the announcements. Read the entire page. You know what you gotta do? You gotta be good people and read the rule page. If you don't read the rules page, then how can you know how to be a good person?
Yeah, I know it might seem like we're punks forcing you to read the EULA before you join, but it makes life better for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the time, the reason why we made this decision to do this is because people would come in and ask all these questions, and it could be solved with 5 minutes reading the rules page.
Also, it sets in stone like our not safe for work rules and that, which are very important to protect.
Yeah, so you don't have to guess and make assumptions. You just sort of know how to be safe.
And it gives you little tidbits on, like, you know, frequently asked questions that, like, oh, what are these weird text phrases you guys type? Well, guess what? They're pony motes, and they turn into fun little motion
that caught me
icons.
out at first. It's like, is this some inside joke? Like, is this like a coder joke or something? It looks like code.
But yeah, people get angry with us because we have that, but really, reading the rules, it doesn't hurt. It's not going to kill anybody.
Sort of acquaint yourself with the group, really.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think we have any more pictures being thrown at us. So if that's it, we're going to call this a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we call it a night?
Yeah.
Well, it is a
I wanna
night.
go
Sleep
sleep.
is a thing.
All the Europeans.
It's
They-
2:30 here.
That's even worse than me.
Don't throw more art at me.
Free them from the prison.
No, I'm used to going to bed after 3 a.m. But tonight I'm like, I was sitting so tired today. I just want to go to bed early. And I can art all day tomorrow because I think I fixed my stuff. Yay!
Yay.
You
I was
should,
gonna
Art is
art all day
good.
today with Ali, and then I couldn't.
Rip.
you should do yourself a favor and not get a job.
I wish I could art all day.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best when it happens, when the motivation's in your favor, the wind in your sail.
Usually when I do have day offs, I never end up doing any art. I just waste my time YouTubing or Reddit or some other shenanigans.
See, do that stuff while you draw and problem solve.
See, it's always that, like, dangerous loop. You want to art when you're not allowed to.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you're at work,
That's
you
why I
want
always
to art.
carry a sketchbook with me to indulge in that sin.
Oh, I should be going to bed, but I really want to art, but I gotta go to bed.
I know, I'll draw in my sleep.
No, usually for me, bed wins easily.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing beats sleep.
Contact your local professional. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I know what line he's reading. Yes, that's an important line. Very important line. Because we can be friends, but we can't be counselors. We just aren't equipped for that.
Yes. If only we could have all the answers. If only.
God, if we had all the answers, so many problems fixed. Alright, and with that, we're going to call this the end of the stream. Hopefully you get onto the Discord after reading those tasty rules. And yeah, we'll see you all next week. I don't think we have any reason not to be here next week, to my knowledge.
No, I'm gonna be here. I'll be here in Square.
The only weird one might be the week after
BronyCon.
BronyCon. I know I'll be home for it, but I might be dead. We'll see.
I won't be there for the week of BronyCon because I'll be traveling for BronyCon.
Okay. I will be here. Because I'll be on vacation that week.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be on vacation too, but I'll be with my dad. We can end the stream. Is the stream over? Did we end it?